Quick disclaimer. The image shown in this video was gifted and is not for sale. It is used strictly for demonstration purposes only. If you'd like to skip ahead to any specific section, the full set of timestamps is listed in the description box below. Hey T Squad, Merry Christmas. Okay, do not judge me, but yes, it is Christmas Day and I am still finishing a neighbor's gift. But honestly, today feels like Christmas for me too, because I've got two packages sitting right here that I've been waiting to open. Quick question. Do y'all remember that Thanksgiving short where I tried to make Christmas mugs, Christmas tumblers, and they did not turn out how I planned? Yeah, that part humbled me real quick. So today's mission is simple. Finish my neighbor's gift the right way with a custom sublimated tumbler and a matching shirt. And we're going to test and press everything from start to finish. All right, we're going to start with this one from A-Sub. Before I open it, I want to be very clear and transparent. This portion of the video is sponsored by A-Sub Sublimation Paper. Here's what matters to me and to you all as well. I actually purchased A-Sub with my own money first before agreeing to any partnership. I needed to be able to see how it worked in my real setup. And I'm going to keep it all the way honest. At first, I was not impressed. The colors were not popping like I expected. And I thought, yeah, this might not be it. But once I slowed down and adjusted my printer settings, my time, and my temperature, and my pressure, everything changed. I mean, these colors snapped. The details came through. Blacks were blackened. Reds was reddened. That's when I said, okay, now I see it. So this package right here, A-Sub actually sent this weeks ago. I've just been waiting for the right video to open it. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what A-Sub sent me. They actually did a great job wrapping this up. The paper is packaged clean. The sheets are flat. Nothing is curled up and no weird smells. First, let's take a look. It looks like they sent me two 20-ounce sublimation tumblers. These tumblers are supposed to have a high transfer weight and they pair perfectly with all of A-Sub's sublimation papers. You will get one straw, one brush, and one black coaster. Next, we have A-Sub's 8.5 by 11 125 gram sublimation paper. This box actually comes with 110 sheets. The transfer rate is 98% and it dries instantly. You don't have to just use this on shirts. You can use this on pads, mouse pads, mugs, phone cases, metal plates, bags, and pillows. And it's definitely perfect for DIYing your special gifts like I'm doing today. The other three boxes is what I had previously bought before I entered into partnership with them. Remember, I said I had to test it first. And today we're going to be using the 11 by 17 size paper. Next, they sent me a pack of 100% waterproof clear glossy sublimation paper. Sticker paper. This paper comes with 25 sheets. It is waterproof and has a glossy finish. Keep in mind that normal ink and paper will not work with these particular stickers. This shiny side, I am assuming, is the side that you print on. That's the glossy side. This last package is A-Sub's 3D Puff Heat Transfer Vinyl. This comes with 8 pieces of different assorted colored vinyl sheets. These are 10 by 12. I did not know A-Sub had 3D Puff vinyl. The colors are white, black, red, yellow, fluorescent green, which I love, fluorescent orange, fluorescent yellow, and fluorescent pink, which is so gorgeous to me. I cannot wait to try these vinyls out. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. I originally ordered an off-brand press from Amazon, but I decided to cancel it because I'd rather support companies I genuinely see long-term value in. So while I'm building a rapport with them, I'll use it, test it, and see how it performs in my workflow. And if all goes well, I'll gladly share the information on this Tumbler press. Until then, just keep in mind this portion is just a reveal. This is not sponsored, and I'm not promoting this press just yet. This was purchased, of course, with my own money. As I was removing the items from the box, the first thing I did was make sure all the components were in the box, as far as the attachments and the power cords and stuff. I also checked everything for any visible damage from shipping, as far as dents, cracks, loose parts, and so far everything looked good. Next, I checked the pressure just to see how it feels. It felt good, but I won't really know for sure until after I press something. Then I plugged it up and powered it on to do a basic function test. The display turned on, the temperature started rising, the controls responded. So from a first look standpoint, it's functioning the way it's supposed to. But that's all I'm really doing today for this. Making sure it arrives safely, everything works, and it's ready for real projects. Again, once I've had time to actually use it, test different blanks, and put it through some real work, I can come back and do a deeper breakdown if that's something you'd like to see. Let me know in the comments. This is the image I'll be pressing onto the Tumbler today. I was going to include the full design process here, but to save time, I'm breaking that out into a separate video. I'll link it in the end screen and in the description once it's live. For now, I'm going to go ahead and print out all of the images I'll be using today. I'll be printing on A-Sub 11x17 125 gram paper. And to test this new Tumbler press, I'm starting with my own logo. That way I can focus strictly on how the press performs, since I already know the paper delivers solid results. All of my prints are finished, and overall the colors came out really nice. This image here is my test image that I'm going to use to press with the Tumbler press first, just so I can make sure that my neighbor's image comes out correctly. This one here is the shirt image. It did print slightly crooked, and that's on me. It's from how the paper was feeding at the back of the printer. I just need to adjust my desk setup so the paper isn't touching anything while it's loading. Little things like that make a big difference. I also want to mention the image edges were designed like that intentionally. I didn't want a boxy look, so the edges are more organic. That did cut off a small part of his foot, but that was by design, and I'm okay with that. The Tumbler image printed a little crooked as well. I tried to salvage it at first because I usually print slightly larger to give myself room to trim. But I had to trim more than expected to straighten it, and at that point, it was too small for the Tumbler. So I went ahead and printed a fresh one because we're not giving out faulty gifts now. Since I'm sublimating onto a 100% cotton next level t-shirt, I'm using a workaround method that allows sublimation to adhere properly. What I do is take white sublimation vinyl, cut it slightly larger than the design, and press that onto the shirt first. Once that layer is down, I press the sublimation image right on top of it. I'll be showing that full design and setup process separately in Cricut Design Space during the Canva design video, which I'll link at the end of the video and also in the description. For now, you are seeing me cut the vinyl and apply it to the shirt first, before pressing the A-Sub paper with the design. Just to be transparent, the sublimation vinyl I'm using today isn't from A-Sub. It's something I already had on hand from another company. That said, A-Sub does carry sublimation vinyl as well. I haven't used it yet, but I'll link it below for your convenience if you want to check it out. At this point, I've got all my supplies printed and ready, so it is time to move on to the tumblers. I'll be honest, I was really eager to finally use a dedicated tumbler press. I had reached a point where flipping a tumbler over and over in a standard mug press was just too much. Once you lose count of how many flips you've done, that's when you know it's time to rethink the process. So when Black Friday rolled around, I took the time to do some research and picked up a tumbler press that was designed to handle the job more efficiently. Now I'm just prepping the images, and I did approach this a little differently since we're starting with the test tumbler. Instead of trimming the overlap, I used the method where you tape the back edge of the overlapping section. I normally would trim it, but I wanted to try this technique. The taped portion sits underneath the overlap, and once everything gets wrapped evenly, you want to pull the paper nice and tight. From there, tape it down as securely as you can to make sure there are no air pockets between the tumbler and the image. That's key for a clean transfer. Let me say this first. Always check the instructions on the back of your sublimation paper and your blank or substrate for the recommended time and temperature settings. For this press, I set it to 356 degrees for 50 seconds. Why did I do that? Well, I saw a random video where someone said that's what they used. Let me be clear. Do not do that. That's my real advice to you. The correct temperature for A-Sub is listed right on the back of the packaging for different substrates. And from what I've seen so far, that information is consistent and reliable. I'll be honest, I was moving fast and didn't slow down to double check it first. So take this as a reminder. Don't rush past the instructions. They are there for a reason. Before pressing, I always prep my tumblers by wiping them down with alcohol and a paper towel. Once they are dry, I go over them again with a lint roller just to make sure there's nothing left on the surface. After that, I wrap the tumbler and get it ready to go into the press. I wasn't completely sure if there would be any ink bleed, and since this is a new press, I wanted to protect it. So I went ahead and wrapped the tumbler with a piece of butcher paper before putting it into the press. One thing I was taught early on is to always pay attention to the seam on your tumbler. To make sure it presses properly, you want to position the tumbler so the seam is fully covered during the press. For this one, I'm pressing it twice. Once the first cycle is complete, I'll rotate the tumbler so the seam is on the opposite side. That rotation helps ensure the tumbler gets even heat distribution all the way around. Now I'm checking for any ink bleed. I don't see any ink coming through the butcher paper, which is great. That means the press stayed protected. Once I remove the butcher paper, I'll check the sublimation paper itself. If you see ink coming through, that's actually a good sign. It usually means the ink released properly, which tells me the heat, time, and pressure were likely in the right range for a strong transfer. I can see the design coming through slightly. I've definitely seen heavier ink release before, so at this point, I'm not completely sure how the final results will look. But we'll find that out right now. And this didn't turn out the way I wanted. The black is coming across more like an off black, and I'm seeing ghosting at both the top rim and the bottom of the tumbler. And that's despite taping this tumbler really well. When I see results like that, it tells me right away that something is off. That's when I went back to the instructions on the sublimation paper packaging to double check my time and temperature, and I realized I was way off. The general recommendation is to press substrates at 400 degrees, but the time and temperature vary depending on the material. It didn't specifically list tumblers, and since this tumbler is made of 304 stainless steel, I referenced the settings for metal plates instead. Those settings recommend 120 to 180 seconds on medium pressure, so I adjusted my press accordingly. I set the time to 60 seconds per press, knowing I'd be rotating the tumbler and pressing it a second time to make sure the seam is properly covered, giving me a total of 120 seconds. This is exactly why test presses matter. I'm really glad I tested this first and not on the gifted tumbler. You'll also notice some white lines in the design that shouldn't be there. Stick with me because I'll show you how I corrected that a little later. Now it's time to wrap the final gift design. I'm feeling much more confident going into this one after seeing the test results and making the necessary adjustments to the time and temperature. To be extra thorough, I also adjusted the pressure on the press, making sure to turn the knobs evenly and at the same time so everything stays balanced. Those white lines I saw in the test press made me think there may have been some air pockets, which can cause light ghosting. So tightening up the pressure should help prevent that. I taped this tumbler like my life depended on it. I didn't want to leave any room for movement or issues during the press. Now I thought I had the camera rolling when I wrapped this in butcher paper, but I didn't catch that part. What I did was lay the tumbler flat on the paper, then rolled it forward tightly until the paper was completely wrapped around and taped in place. That gave me a much more secure fit. No worries though, I'll be demonstrating that step more clearly in another video. Just to be extra sure on this one, I pulled the tumbler slightly out so I could focus on pressing the rim area. I pressed that section for 20 seconds, then repositioned the tumbler to press the bottom edge for another 20 seconds. One other thing I did differently this time was letting the tumbler cool down before removing the paper. I let it sit for about 5 minutes before peeling the paper off. I definitely had to speed this part up, y'all. It took me 5 minutes to get this paper off. But let me tell you, it was well worth it. Every step that I went through was well worth it. Wait till you see how this tumbler came out. I got a piece of paper towel and wet it with some water because I noticed after I took off the butcher paper and sublimation and tape, the tape left some kind of imprint in the design right there where I'm rubbing. And I was trying to see if I can wipe it off. In the midst of that, I'm looking like, wow, look at the rim. That is completely covered. Both sides. There is no ghosting, none of that. It came out exactly like it should have. Besides me taping it up like a mummy, it really, I was surprised. I was really happy with the results. In the midst of wiping it, it was another white line, and when I touched it, it came right off. So I grabbed my tumbler and it came right off. I guess it was just residue from the paper. That was not any ghosting or anything on there. It came right off with a damp paper towel. But as you can see right there, the tape lines are in there, but that seam, that seam is covered. It is covered, but you can see the imprints of the tape. So I have to figure out how to not let that happen again. But just look at Prince said, we gonna give you some diamonds and pearls today, honey. Yes, we did that, Prince. Thank you. And I know my neighbor is happy. She loved her some Prince, and she's such a sweetheart. I wanted to make her something that would really just make her happy and lift her spirits, because she's a very sweet woman. And she really liked her gift, and I'm so happy. But I am going to cut this part off soon, y'all, because I stood here for a minute just admiring my work. I think I know this is the best tumbler I ever made in my life, and all because I made sure I got the right tools. The tumbler press definitely helped. It was a big help. I mean, all those extra steps, I done that because I just wanted to make sure. I'll probably do another tutorial without all those steps to see if it really helps, which it probably will, because I adjusted the pressure on the press as well. So I might not even have to do all those extra steps with pressing the edges or whatever. I just had to make sure for my neighbor, because she deserves it. And I didn't want to waste no supplies. I'm tired of doing that. My logo though, my logo tumbler, and I just threw a design together. This is nothing I really sat for hours trying to put together. No, I just threw it together for this video. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick the coaster that came with the tumbler onto the back. I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of tumblers don't come with this. A-Sub said, I'm gonna get you straight too. Here you go, so your tumbler won't be sliding all around the table when you're trying to work. Thank you, A-Sub. I appreciate these. I will definitely be buying my tumblers from them. I honestly didn't know they had their own tumblers, y'all. I really didn't. I am so glad they reached out to me for this collaboration. I am very grateful. It gives me a chance to just check out new things and bring new things to you guys if you don't know about them. But yes, look at that. I said I was gonna fast forward this part because I told you I stood here for a minute looking at these tumblers. All right, now let's go. It's time to get this sublimated shirt on this 100% cotton t-shirt together. Right now I have the sublimation vinyl and I'm just going to weed out the design. This paper is pretty tough, and I had to, the setting recommended that I cut it on a flock something. It says something else, flock plus something like that, and it was still kind of tough to pull off. Even the transfer paper it was stuck to was that was some sticky transfer paper. Anyway, after weeding that, I am going to go ahead and prep the shirt, get the lint off, and you know how we do it. Get the moisture out and put that center press down the middle so that we can position our image on the shirt straight. For this last part of the video, I'm going to speed things up a bit while I finish pressing and setting everything up. Once we get closer to the end, I'll slow it back down so you can really see the final results. Now, after everything you've seen so far, I did attempt to press the sublimation heat transfer vinyl onto the shirt. And this part didn't go exactly as planned. I had previously tested this method, and according to the directions, after pre-pressing the garment at 311 degrees for 10 seconds, you are supposed to position the Sublimation HTV glossy side up, press it, let it cool, and then peel. I followed those instructions, and every single time I went to peel the carrier, the vinyl lifted. I tried it 3 separate times and got the same result. At that point, I knew I needed to check my pressure. So I did a quick paper test on my heat press, and technically the pressure passed. The paper didn't slide out. But in real life, we all know sometimes that's not the full story. To get this done, I grabbed an old heat press cushion I peeled off from my very first heat press years ago. My press is older and needs adjusting. So until I either learn how to do it myself or find someone to service it, this is the workaround I use to keep things moving. Once I added that extra cushion underneath the shirt, I pressed it again, and this time the carrier peeled off successfully. But I tell you, that Sublimation HTV is pretty tough. I'll be honest, I was not in love with this Sublimation HTV on cotton method. At one point, I even thought to myself, I probably should have just used the Easy Color DTV instead. But this is only one brand I've tried, and they are not all the same. So I'm not giving up on this method just yet. I definitely want to test a few other brands before I make a final call. After that, I lined up the design to press onto the Sublimation HTV. I pressed it at 392 degrees for 50 seconds using a warm peel. What I did wrong here was not offsetting the design enough, so the ink extended past the HTV and onto the shirt. It is recommended to offset the design anywhere between 2 to 5 millimeters and then proceed to cut. I didn't do that because it looked too big behind my design. I promise I will follow the directions on that too next time. That wasn't the look I was going for, but thankfully sublimation doesn't bond to cotton, so after a few washes, the excess ink should fade out. Not ideal, but a manageable mistake. I didn't have this problem, but one big takeaway I want to leave you with is this. If your design looks clean and everything is pressing right, chances are you've got the right paper. But when things start acting funny, the paper weight might be the issue. If your shirt looks faded, but all the ink transferred, That usually means you are using a heavier paper. Heavier grammage holds more ink, which can soften the final look. If your design has both light areas and heavy ink saturation, staying around 120 grams tends to give the best balance. For ghosting on hard blanks like tumblers or mugs, going with a lower grammage can help because the ink releases more cleanly. If your paper keeps curling, step up in weight. If you are using 105 grams, go to 120. If you're at 120, go to 125 grams. And if you're seeing roller or wheel marks, do the opposite. Step down in weight and make sure your printer is clean. Bottom line, paper weight plays a bigger role than most people realize. So today, we unboxed, tested, and pressed all on Christmas Day. Huge thank you to A-Sub for sponsoring part of today's video. And guess what, T-Squad? My Christmas gift to you is our very first official discount code for A-Sub and Koala. You can use code SPLGTEES to get 12% off. SPLGTEES. All links and disclosures are in the description. You can use the link directly or enter the code on the A-Sub or Koala website at checkout to save. If this video helped you, go ahead and hit like, subscribe so we can keep getting more perks like this, and drop a comment with your sublimation wins or your fails. We've all got both. And now I can finally walk this gift next door, the day after Christmas. Boy, if fashionably late was a person. Anyway, better late than stressed. One more thing before I go. Quick shout out to my cousin Al and his now fiance. He proposed on Christmas Day and I couldn't be more proud. Congratulations to you both. Wishing you nothing but the best. Won't he do it? See you soon, T-Squad. Stay cool, calm, and creative. Much love.